support to the main Wakers. Do you think that they may have a certain apprehension that women will take over the party?
Well, you might be able to help a mindset better than me, because I don't have too much testosterone and whatever it is, but from...
Well, I get plenty testosterone, but I don't use my testosterone like that.
But I think, I believe, it may be what you say, maybe this is sort of traditional hierarchy of things, where men have this thing and then women take the orders and whatever. Maybe. The truth is, if you look in our society, the women are at higher levels throughout, and it's a myth in their own minds. And I think that maybe it contributes to some of the dilemmas that men face in the Bahamas about how they see themselves and how they manifest their masculinity in our society. It could be that. I'm not sure what it is. But I know that, I know it's real. I know what the underlying thing is. I don't know.
But maybe we should have a woman prime minister.
That could work.
Well, you know, I was reading an article by Muda Broker. And he said one of the disconnects we have from Africa is that in pre-colonial times, Africa is basically matriarchal society, and that we've been drawn into a system of patriarchy that's alien to us, and we've really, instead of elevating our women to roles of leadership, they now become secondary. So, for instance, there couldn't be a queen until the Queen Mother spoke, a king. So the king was important, but the Queen Mother was even more important than the king. And maybe we need a woman prime minister. Maybe you, Mr. Christie and Mr. Ingram, should sit down and let you be prime minister. That's not a family thing, you know. I'm just wondering if the thing's so wrong with men at the helm, maybe with women at the helm, it might have a different role in a little different direction in the country.
Well, I don't know about the prime minister part, but I can tell you, though, I truly believe that that women bring a different perspective to things. I mean, we just do. That's just the reality of it. And I think that the collaborative partnership works well. I mean, you need men and women to come together. But I see no reason why a woman in this country who is able and willing and cannot hold the position of prime minister in this country. It might bring a refreshing mindset to what happens in our country. Maybe.
Well, you know, we can take a break now, Glenys, but, you know, we on such a road to hell. I mean, I don't care if people don't agree with me. We on the road to hell, and the political leadership in both of these parties seem not to have a sense of direction, and I seem to be hearing direction from you in a lot of times. And I can come back and talk to you because I want to talk about that time you got in trouble in the house. We could come back and talk about that. We'll be right back in a few minutes. Thank you.
A long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
Mom! Look what I drew in school.
That's good, honey. I need a copy of this.
Dad!
Not now, honey. I got it. Yeah, this is it.
Max, do you want to see what I drew in school today? Here's Dad.
Children can go to the dogs when families don't listen.
Here's Mom. And look, this is you and me.
From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
It's been a long time coming, but I know.
Welcome back. Just when we took the break, Glenys, you know you're my sister, but I've taken off my gloves now. Some time ago, they were about to throw you out of the House Assembly.
Right.
I was proud of you, you know. I never tell you that, but I was proud of you. You know,
now you tell me. You get on TV and tell me.
No, I was proud of you. Your brothers and all your family is proud of you because we act like that, and we like to see you act like that. But now, seriously, going back to that incident, that arose out of it's a matter that's going on now. I don't want to comment on it.
Yeah.
But it involved death of a young man.
Right.
You seem to be intervening a lot when something happens to young people in the community. What is it? People come to you, and are you being identified as a voice of people in need of a voice?
Well, boy, that's a good question. I'm trying to think. In that specific case in Parliament, It was, well, first of all, it was something that was so shocking to the whole country. Because a 15-year-old is a child. I don't care how you put it. And troubled or not, it's a child. And he was in police custody, which is the state. And it, you know, there were certain sort of elements about it that were sort of just threw itself out there, and caused it really brought it to the fore, the spotlight, I think, of everybody's consciousness. And I think one of our vice chairmen had, I think he said that the boy had been a student in the school that he was involved in the school board in. And that, you know, until we started to talk about it, and I started to look into the circumstances, and it was sort of the culmination of a series of incidents that involved police activity, where there were claims and allegations about what actually went down. And one of my concerns was that, you know, because of the way the law currently is, when there's a complaint against the police investigate the police. And I was concerned that because of the peculiarity of this case, because it was a minor and there's special rules for minors in custody, because he was in custody, and because there was an allegation that he had harmed himself in custody, and how that could happen, and because police investigate themselves, I thought that I would raise the issue in Parliament, that the minister would give an assurance that because of all of the red flags in this matter, that he would ensure that there would be a transparent investigation. And that's exactly what happened. I was just absolutely not entertained. And to be honest with you, normally, I've been there 7 years. The speaker don't have no issues with me. No, he never does. And normally I would sit down, but on this occasion, there was something about the approach, because the Parliament really had nothing on its agenda. This was a serious matter, I thought, because it involved a child. And I just felt like I could not, in good conscience, sit down. So even if I was trying to be good, I couldn't sit down. I just couldn't. And so I just pressed. And I said, you know, I just want an assurance from the minister. And it wasn't forthcoming. And the speaker, in very short order, he named me. And then, you know, then he told me to leave. And then I thought, then that didn't make sense. Because I was trying to raise an issue that people are concerned about in our country and that they want answers for. There was nothing on the agenda. And then then I was named and told to leave when I was elected in fine form by the people of Englerston, and many of whom come from a similar background this 15-year-old came from. And I just felt I couldn't leave. And then I said, you know, if I have to leave now, I'm not going. I'm not going to leave. And I've been duly elected, and in fact I've done anything wrong. And then that's really what happened. It led to a standoff. I wasn't seeking to create any drama in Parliament. I've never sought to do that. It's just that circumstances led to it. It was unscripted. It was it just happened, you know, as it unfolded in that dramatic form. And then that's what happened. It became the standoff of forces.
Well, you know? Mind you now, P. Anthony White, in one of his articles, said that these fellas stole your moment in time. I mean, there was a historic moment when you were named. You know, I don't think since back in the days when your daddy was carried out the house, was anybody named. And I'm sure, because I know the police officer who came to get you, he wasn't going to oppress you and brutalize you. I think he would have gently carried you out. You know, I know that as a fact, because he's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman. He would have gently
carried you out. And the other fellas would have had an opportunity to be named as well. And they could have been not so gently carried out if they wanted to show. But by standing around you and preventing that moment in time, they really stole your thunder. And, you know, I think it goes back to what we were talking about. I think every man in that in the PLP at that moment in time saw you as your moment in history, and they stopped you. You know, I want to chastise you for that, brother. Oh Lord, who was the people standing around you now? You had
can't help you on this one.
No, you had Doc. You had you bring all my children in the plant, except the second marriage. All my children in the first marriage. Doc, you brought my children in, but you should have let my sister have a moment in time, because really, you know, I mean, look at this moment in time. You have a child being killed in custody. You know, international law says you don't put a child in an adult facility. And it's mysterious circumstances. We're still trying to get to the bottom of it. And there's no concern in the house. You were the only voice speaking out. And what I'm concerned about, Glenys, and you know, it goes back to the lack of leadership